Why can't you stay organized? I've experienced this myself, and it's called chronic impulse control, where you
That was a very strange error. So if you're just joining, I had this accidentally named as gameloop.cpp at one point. Then I renamed it to HPP, and I was like, I'll just rename it to header. For whatever reason, this code would not run. Even though I had it called game header up here, or gameloop.header up here, it would refuse to run the main word there. So that was kind of weird. But should be able to test these now. If event type is the event mouse button pressed, and then we're going to say fixed update, passing its mouse position. Interesting. I thought implementing a system I had previously designed for another game would not give me such trouble, but apparently it wants to be funky. This is initializing, right? Something seems kind of fishy about that. I'm going to take a look at what I'm basing this off of. This is just kind of bugging the crap out of me, to be honest. What is the difference here? Check collision, check collision. Pretty sure that looks basically the same. That is so weird. It's not even hitting into that. What? Okay, hold on. We have a constructor, we take in the value text. We set temporary text equal to that reference. I know this works in this one. Like if I hit play, that's what happens. Why do I not have the same? It's set up proper, from what I can tell. This is happening on the update loop. While the window is open. Just seems very, very odd. Because for some reason it doesn't seem to be even activating button. Was set here. This is basically like if those didn't even exist. Yet they do. Right there. You know what's odd is I wanted to implement what I have already done because I figured, okay, why rewrite a bunch of stuff? Apparently, I was better off just rewriting a bunch of shit, which is kind of fucking stupid. That's just fucked up. I'm just gonna try this manually. Initialize right here. I'm gonna say if text dot get global bounds dot contains mouse position title text dot set fill color to green. Otherwise, set it to black. That's literally what we're trying to do. I mean, I shouldn't have to do it like that. Yeah, it still doesn't. What? It's because of this. That's funny. That's funny. God damn. That is too funny. So, of course, you know, it's based off mouse position, and I didn't even have that going in the loop, so it couldn't update the mouse position. Of course, this wouldn't activate, but trying to, you know, rush this early stage kind of bit me in the ass. Alright, now that we got the basic state machine, now we can actually start working on the game. So this is an old abandoned project I did for Game Boy when I was trying to make Game Boy games using the ZGB GitHub. So the game was called Bounce. It has, well, actually, I think I can kind of show real quick. If I go to, so I kind of had a little, so let's speed it, let's go, yep, right here. So this was Bounce. And the point is just gonna kind of try to bounce the enemy into a goal. It bounces against the walls, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, that's the general gameplay idea. I'm sort of regretting adding the other implementations I've had with the state machine and the old entity system, but we're gonna try to make it work. So I separated out the title. It has its own init, update, draw loop. Then we make an instance of that inside of title, or inside of a game loop. The reason I did private, public for loop, and private for its members is if we go to here in the main and I go like this, I only want loop available. Outside, the other stuff does not, should all be handled only within itself. So yeah, we gotta initialize something, right? We gotta get a player moving, so let's work on that. Let's go into here. We're gonna add, call this entity header. We're gonna include our basic, and let's just call this like player, and it's gonna inherit from basic entity. So that's going to give us a few necessities. Ability to load in textures and positions and the reason I paused is I don't necessarily need textures right now, but yeah. You know what? We're just gonna go like this. We don't need textures. So what I'm doing right now is just setting up the basic player position, color, yada yada yada. We're going to have a bool. We're going to call it is active. I'm going to set it to false down here and to true at the beginning. We're also going to only draw that depending if it is true. Alright, here we're going to take in an SF time, we're going to call this delta time. Then we're going to be checking for keys. And so WASD, up, down, left, right, like this, go bam, bam, bam. Then here, we're just going to say else. I don't want any diagonal movement. So this is going to be going down, left, and to the right. Okay, so we got that going, then we're just going to simply say body dot move, and to the up in SFML is negative, so in the 0 it's x, and here we're going to just say speed times delta time dot as seconds. Now we haven't made the speed variable yet. This is just going to be a float. We're going to set it equal to 200 for now. And that's going to be negative because it's down. It's going to be positive. And then here and here. So this is going to be negative. This is going to the left. And this is going to be positive going to the right. Looks okay. We're actually going to include basic over here. And that will allow us over here to include player. Or entity. There it is. I'm going to create an instance down here. Up here, I'm going to say player equals new player. Make sure we have a constructor. So player. I'm just going to init on player. Maybe put that just right below it, just in case we have like some weird stack thing going on. So boom, update player dot. Oh, it's not public. Player dot update. Now it's going to take in a delta time variable that we haven't made yet. And here, so what is this delta time? Well, we're going to have one main thing. So we're going to have a clock. We'll call it main clock, and then we're going to have time, and I'm going to call this delta time. And above the update loop, we're going to say delta time equals main clock dot get elapsed time. And then down here we're going to just say main clock dot restart. And hit play. Need to add these inside of our main scene states. There we are. This is us moving. Alright, so bounce, right? We have little goal, little guy, he's just like bouncing all over the place. So let's make another class. We're gonna just call this, I don't even know, thing, right? That's just bouncing thing. So he's also gonna have a body. So you know, a lot of the things he has, the other guy has, yada yada yada. I'm gonna grab all of this real quick, and then we're just gonna remove that constructor would be thing in this case. We're gonna set this one to like magenta. We're gonna give him 400 in the X. And yep, that seems to be fine. So the screen bounce, there's a window width and a window height. So here on update, I'm actually going to take in a reference to the window, because what I'm thinking is when the object comes up. So let's grab a little paint thing here. So when the object reaches that edge that's like outside of the screen bounce, we want him to bounce. Doesn't necessarily matter what direction at the moment, but when it hits those edges on the screen, that's what we're kind of looking to restrict them inside. Boom, 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 boom. So taking a reference to this, so we can go like window dot I want to say it might be get viewport. I've never attempted this, but maybe it's get size. We're gonna try something real quick. We go into here, and I'm gonna have it print for me. So this would be 800, I would say. Yeah. Perfect. So those are what I think they are. So we're going to come back over here to entity. We're going to be using this get size. So I'm going to say And the same for the y. Okay, so window X, window Y, get size, da 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 da. If body dot get position, and the X is less than or equal to hold on, greater than or equal to window dot window X, then we're going to move him to the left, right? Because if this is greater than 800, he's going to move to the left, so body dot move, and we're going to go in the X direction, so negative speed times delta time as seconds. And then 0 on the y. For now. If its X position is less than or equal to 0, it's going to be moving that way. So right now we should have just bounce left and right. Let's check this. So let's make a new bouncing thing. Gonna come up here. Thing is new thing. And I suppose this part's gonna be slightly funky because I don't necessarily want to pass window through that part. This probably isn't the best way to do this either, but whatever. Oh, let's try thing to update hoping those things don't conflict with each other. Now what I thought about right there is just to make sure they don't conflict with each other. But we never drew him. And then we should start an initial move. So what I'm thinking here is if the body is greater than 0, and the body's X position is less than the width, then we're going to be moving to the right. I think it's just going to go pa 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 pa. Probably have to take into account his width as well, but just kind of look in here. If the body is greater than the X position, move to the right, hit the wall, move to the... What? That's... okay. If the body's position is less than the window's width, move to the right. Otherwise, if the body's position is greater than or equal to the window's... Do we have to do like a check here too and be like, and this is less, or is not equal to, or is... See, how does that go? If the body's position is less than the Windows X, move to the right. If it's greater than the Windows width, move to the left. But it's moving to the right constantly, which I assume means it's always taking that as priority. Because like if we go here and we switch this, so like if we're less than the Windows X, well, we're going to be moving to the left now. And if we're greater than the Windows X, or greater than 0, and we flip this, he would be moving to the right. But we got to catch both cases in a single line of logic. So if we're over 0. And our position is less than, so the window width. Then we can move to the right. My fear is, though, if we're doing it like this, and I say, okay, move to the left when we exceed this value, we're still greater than this, and we're still then greater than that. That is, logic like that bothers my brain. Why can't I spell? Okay, is moving right is false. If we're doing this, is moving right is true. Otherwise, is moving right is false. If is moving right, then we move right. Otherwise, we move left. And I'm going to do a std cout. And I'm going to comment out this one for now, because I want to see when it says moving left. So I think what's happening is right at that edge it's going like that, left, right, left, right, left, right, because it comes just enough left for this to become true to push it just enough right for this to become false. Is moving right. What bothers me is it doesn't even, can't even see it. trying to make the effort to move left. There it is. This is a really simple problem that I am struggling with. That's crazy. If the body's position in the x direction is greater than 0, I can't have that part. I feel like it's right in front of me. If the body's position in the x direction is less than the window width and the player's stuff, go to the right. If it's greater than or equal to, how can we switch that? That is confusing my brain. That is confusing the crap out of me, to be honest. Notepad. So, if thing hits wall, move opposite. That's basically what I'm trying to do. If the thing hits the wall, move opposite direction. So when it hits that position, move opposite. I'm gonna try an OR. I don't even know if that's just gonna keep doing the same thing it's doing. No, that makes it worse actually. Okay, making progress. That should bounce left to right. Man, that took way longer than it should have. Should be doing like a weird angle now. Windows Y. Oh. So now it should just be bouncing like a crazy thing. All right. So we're making progress, slowly but surely. So what I'm gonna do here is we're gonna take a collidable thing inside of thing here. We're gonna check for a SF rectangle shape reference called body, or other in this case. This is going to be the player. So if we are to the right of the thing, I was about to make it more complicated, but we'll get there. If we're to the right of the thing and we collide, it now moves to the left. So, like, if we're to the right of it, if other dot get global bounds dot intersects with body dot get global bounds. So if we're to the right, if we collide, is moving right equals the opposite. We're going to try the same thing for the Y. Boom, boom, boom. Just have to pass collide into here. I almost kind of want to restructure this slightly. We need to take into account the width as well. 222, trying to think. 2. That should go there fine. That should go there fine. And then vice versa. Technically, X and Y are the same in this case, but just in case we change up stuff. Let's see here. Just having a slight brain fart. Just trying to think here. If the player is moving left, and this thing is also moving left, so player catches up to thing, it then changes its thing from moving left to moving right, which then goes inside of the player. And if it's going inside the player, that is a problem. So if they're both moving left, I'm going to try something really weird. I don't think it'll solve the problem, but I'm going to try it. Definitely not. Just kind of reverse that a little bit. And let's really check this out. Alright, so he hit me diagonally. That seemed to be okay. Seems to be when the player is in transit. It's definitely when the player is in transit. So I'm going to try setting them to the same speed, seeing if that helps anything. You know, I'm going to leave that for a second, but I was looking over here. I think it's a little backwards. have to excuse me. I'm just recovering from laryngitis, so my throat's a little funky. Looks like we still pass through it. Yeah, we definitely still pass through it. That would be still passes through. Damn. Hmm. Maybe we're calculating the player's width and that thing's width in the wrong location. Um, hmm. How do I want to go about this? what I'm thinking is, I'm thinking I need to go get some water real quick. Let me go do that. Oh, heating up some water for some noodles. But yeah, let's. So I think I think I'm onto something. We might have to do like, and I suppose Ugh. All right. So I suppose what I'm trying to say here is boo boo boo. Go like this. So I think I'm gonna have to take into account if he is moving up and right, if he's moving up and left, if he's moving down and left, or if he's moving up or down and right. So I gotta pay attention to these 4 different things at the same time. So, like in this case, we're checking, this is him moving right. But I also probably, up here, should also be checking if we're moving up, right? So like the upright, or so in like this case, up is negative. So this bottom one, I got something in my eye. Forgive me for a moment while I'm just kind of having some struggles today, apparently. God dang. Alright, so what I'm what I'm trying to say is we gotta check both of these at the same time. This would be up and right. Then we're gonna have to check up and left. So here would be up and left. And then we'll have to check same things but opposite. So like this would be down and left, and this would be down and right. So that's down and right. This is up and right. This is down and left. And this is up and left. We're just gonna kind of organize it like this. Up and right, up and left, down and right, down and left. So if we're going to the up and right, if the body.getGlobalBounce was to intersect with the player's getGlobalBounce, so yep, so like if they're up and right and they intersect with this, then we're gonna say is moving right is false, is moving up is false. And I gotta stop that thing real quick before I have too much water. Well, you know you're a college student when you make ramen noodles using a coffee maker. Oh, or a coffee pot. But, yep, so basically the same logic, but we're gonna be doing a little different. So, if we're moving up and to the left, that would remain false. and that would be false. For moving down to the right, I don't want to have more bools. I don't think I need them, but we might. But yeah, if we're moving down to the right, that would become false. This would become true. For moving down to the left, these would both become true. Does that happen right? Should be up and right there, yeah. Collision is complicated. I'm going to add more bools. I mean, that's just ridiculous to have to do, but oh, whatever. I need it to be a little more verbose. You know what? We're only going to worry about one of these at a time. So if we are to the right of the player and above him, and he smacks us, then we're gonna continue moving that direction in the Y and change in the X. If we are moving down, so if he's below us, or if we are below him and to the left, we're going to move right, and we're going to continue moving down. If we are to the right of the player and below him, so the signs were a little funky, so that's probably one problem. But anyway, if we're moving right and we're below him, he smacks us. be honest, at this point in time, I don't think I can fix the overlap. I have no idea. Well, like, I understand why, roughly, it's happening. Seems kind of strange to me. Hold on. Man, that drone thing sucks. The hell. I think I thought of something for a minute there. So, if we're moving to the right, we don't want to know that part. That's only if we're moving to the left. Similarly, for moving up, sure we would be hitting the bottom. No, that's fine. But down, we wouldn't need that. Right, so this is to the right. So we wouldn't need that part. This we would, because we're moving to the left. If we collide with the right side, we do need to know that stuff. If we're moving down and we collide with the top, with the top, we don't need that stuff. Of him. Okay, so hold on, this is it's a little bit to this, because it'd be his bottom colliding with his top, and then on here, similarly, it would be his bottom. So that's the top. This brings us to the bottom. This is his top, or the player's top. If we're to the left, if we're going to the left, we need to know its left and the player's right. if we're going to the right, we need to know it's right. Oh, let me. Yeah, so like if we're going to the fucking right, if we're going to the right, this way, we need to know where his left is and his right. So that would be his plus get size x times the scale. Because this would be his right colliding with his left. We're going up. That would be his top colliding with his bottom. If we're going up, this would be his top colliding with his bottom. If we're going left, it would be his left colliding with his right. Similarly, if we're moving right, we need to know his right, so it'd be body dot get size x. So the body's left, right, so like we're moving right, we got to calculate its right side coming this way. Comparatively with the player's leftmost side. Don't know why I did that twice, that was weird. This is very, like, the logic, if you were to write it down and say, you go, oh yeah, it makes sense. But when you try to say it out loud and not write it down, it's very, very strange. So if we're going to the right, we need to know, bring this left all the way over to the right and see if that's greater than his left. If we're moving upward, we have to compare its top with his bottom. If we're going up, again, his top compared with his bottom. Moving to the left, we need to compare his left with his right instead of his right with his left. So that seems to be good up there now, ish. If we're going to the right, so we're moving right, we need to compare his right side is greater than his left side. If we're going down, gotta check if his bottom is greater than his top. So, yep. And then if we're going to the left, we have to check if his left is below his right. And I was sitting here thinking I wasn't going to figure it out. God damn, that was a mouthful. Jeez. Just kind of want to hit him on the left one time. God dang. Come on, player. You're a little slow. There. Looked like that left just went right through him. So he's moved to the... Looked like to the left was slightly buggy still. So we'll have to take a look at that. Yeah, to the left is slightly buggy. So that's its right hand side. So it was going to the right. Going to the right. So its right hand side greater than that, greater than my left most side. Its right side. I'm going to take a quick gander again, because if I'm on its side over here, so it looks like down and left was... No, it's not down and left that's funky. It's not up and left that's funky. It's not down and left. So now it's down right. Down right, upright. It was going up and right. Pretty sure this is the one that's bugged. Yeah, because up. We need its top. In the Y position. And this thing's bottom. This is so confusing. This is ridiculously confusing. If I'm moving right and up, I need to know about my top and right side. If I'm moving down and left, I need to know about my bottom and left side, so on and so forth. With that logic, if I am moving up and right, I need to know about my top, its location, and the bottom of the other. If my top is less than its bottom, because in SFML things are negative, so up is minus, positive is below. If the top is less than its bottom, if we collide, I set this to false, this to true, and just see what happens. It seems to be fine over here for that. If we come on this side, yeah, still, what in the world? So if it's moving to the right, this is the tricky part that I just realized is, if it is moving to the right, it is on the left side of the player. This is what is happening here. If its position in the X, that doesn't necessarily mean it's moving. God damn it. Because the tricky thing is, I'm using both position and moving as, almost the same word when they're not in this case, right? Because if the object is on the right side of the player, it doesn't necessarily mean he's moving left or right. Because he changes his direction on impact of a wall. So if it's to the right of the player and moving right, hits a wall, begins moving left to the right of the player. See what I'm saying? Like, that, I'm making it more complicated than it should be. Like, that doesn't seem like a whole lot of stuff, but apparently, as we can see here, when he's on the left, moving left, he's on the right, moving left, on the left, moving right, so there's those cases, and right on this side, it's not so bad. On this side, we have issues. And that's when he's on the left of the player, so when he's on the left-hand side of the player, we're using, I think I have that backwards, because that needs to be, if we're on the left side of the player, we need to be calculating this. Why am I calculating it here then? There's gotta be a reason. If we're on the right side of the player, I do have this. The thing is, if that's backwards, it can't necessarily be backwards. Here's my thing. If this is backwards, let's assume it is. Let's just say I'm wrong, it's backwards. So we change it like that. And we completely leave that one alone, right? Because if for this to be true, that must be false, at least in my brain. So if the one is backwards, oh, it doesn't break this side. Okay. Because if we're on the right side of the player, we need to be calculating its left with the player's most right. If we're on the, if we're on the right side of the player, yes, so if we are, Jesus Christ, this is gonna drive me nuts. I'm gonna have to draw me a picture. I'm gonna break this damn thing into 4 sections. If we are on the right, we need to know about player's most right side and its left side. If we are on the left, we need to know about its right side and player's left. Oh yeah, this was the reference from the beginning. If we're moving left, not moving left, I need to stop saying moving in this case. It's literally part of the problem. If we are on the left side of the player, that's all that means. If we're on the left side of the player, we need to know about its right side and the player's left side. If we're on the right side of the player, we need to know about its left side and the player's right side. If we are on its left side, no, if that thing is on the player's left side, we need to know about its right. And the player's left. This is just nuts. Like, that should not be that much of a brain teaser. What the fuck? Hello? Like, what? Forget everything I just said. Just completely forget it. I swear I'm not stupid. I swear to God. But it kind of feels like it. Not gonna lie. Oh. I am gonna end the stream here. This is just driving me nuts.